Welcome to your 2023 Pilates program. My name is Melanie, your mildly goth Pilates instructor. Today we're going to do a reformer workout focusing on glutes and thighs. We're going to load on 2 heavy springs and 1 light spring. I'm on 2 reds and 1 blue on this balanced body Metro IQ reformer. Handrest will go down. Meet me lying down on the bed with your feet hip distance apart on the foot bar. Let's get started. Spine will be really neutral, so bottom of the sacrum heavy, neutral curve in the low back. You can either reach your arms long by your sides, or if you feel more comfortable, have your arms reached up. Feet will be hip distance on the foot bar, or if you feel like it's more comfortable, you can also bring them down to the platform, depending on your comfort level. So knees right in line with hips, big breath in. We're going to begin rolling the spine up into a bridge position, peeling the spine up 1 bone at a time till you find your bridge, knees to hips to shoulders, nice vertical line. Deep breath in, exhale, melt the spine down until the bottom of your sacrum hits the mat and you find that neutral curve in your low back. If you need to scoot a little bit further away from the shoulder blocks, feel free to do so. Deep breath in, exhale, feel your transverse abdominis engage as you roll up to that diagonal line. Squeezing the glutes and the hamstrings, melt the spine back down 1 bone at a time. Good, let's continue this for a few more. So in this bridge, we really want to focus on spinal articulation, squeezing through the glutes and thighs, and supporting through the abdominals. Good, let's keep rolling down. And your goal is to try to keep all your muscles supportive and try to keep that carriage closed. You may not be perfect at that, that's okay, but do your best. Still using your breath. Good, next time we roll up, we're going to hold here for 10, 9, 8, not moving that carriage. If you want to play around with a different position with your arms, feel free to do that. Whatever is comfortable for you. One's not necessarily harder than the other, just depending on your body structure and strength, you may feel that one is a better choice for you. Last 2, feeling that burn in your glutes already, huh? And roll down, glutes and hamstrings. Good. We're just going to walk the feet as wide as your foot bar, rock the knees side to side, releasing through the hips. Now we're going to move on to some variations. So arms long by your sides or up above the shoulders, whatever is more comfortable. We're going to find that bridge position, peeling up once again. We're going to take a big breath in, exhale, push the carriage away, control it in. Think about your knees and hips going in an upward diagonal. Good. Press out and in. Even pressure through both feet. You're not rocking to the outside or the inside of your arch. Trying not to fully close the stopper, just barely get it to kiss. And 1 more. Your hamstrings should be really feeling it. We're going to hold here for 10, 9, 8. Make sure that carriage is closed or just about it. 5. Squeezing through the glutes and hamstrings. 3, 2, 1. Big breath in, exhale, roll it down. Walk your feet as wide as your foot bar, rock your knees side to side 1 more time. Good. Now we're going to take a wide stance. So the arches of the feet will be on the outer corners of the foot bar, arms wherever you feel comfortable. We're going to take a baby bridge. So not all the way hips up, but we're going to lift them a little bit and lower back down. I'd like for you to think about the spine staying in neutral, so pelvis not tucked under here. Think about your abdominals supporting as you come up. Each time you lower down, we're not resting. We're just barely tapping the mat with your bottom. Good. 2 more. Lots of glutes and lots of thighs here. Lift. We're going to hold here. Push the carriage out, still in that external rotation. We're going to press out and in. Whoa. Try to exhibit more control than I just did. You want to almost close the carriage or just barely kiss it without slamming it, if you can. Hips are still hovered, butt is still hovering above the mat. Core engages first. Let's go for 3, 2, and 1. Big breath in. Close the stopper. Roll it down. Take a pause. Hug your knees into your chest. Rock your hips side to side. We're going to keep it moving. Deep breath in, exhale. You're going to grab onto the backs of your thighs. Roll the spine up. We're going to take 1 spring off. So right now I'm on 1 red, 1 blue. alternately, you could take it down to one red or one heavy. I'm gonna stay on the one heavy and one light. So we're gonna go for single leg variations. This is where it starts to get a little bit spicy. So arms wherever you feel comfortable, reaching by your sides or up over the shoulders. Once again, feet can be down on the sandpaper or up on the foot bar for a little bit of a different challenge. Whatever feels comfortable to your body is fine. Roll the shoulders back. Big breath in, exhale. You're gonna find your bridge. Make sure you're nice and stable. You're gonna lift one leg to tabletop. Press out and in with the left leg. So right leg is in tabletop. Left leg bends and extends. This is where it gets really intense. You're just gonna do 5. Good, you've got 2 more on this side. And 1, good. Lower that foot down, raise up the left leg to tabletop. Bend and extend the right leg. Good. Since we removed some springs, we're getting a little bit of a different challenge. Sometimes fewer springs means more challenge. If this is too much, you're welcome to load that second heavy spring or red spring back on. Last one. Oh, keeping the hips lifted. Wow, that was really tough. Close the stopper. Gently if you can. Big breath in. Exhale, melt the spine down. Once again, feet as wide as your foot bar. Rock the knees side to side. It's brisk, but good. Roll the spine up. Or roll yourself up to sitting. That was a Pilates blooper right there. You're going to place 3 reds and 1 blue on, or 3 heavy springs and 1 light. We're going to come back down and loosen up the hips and hamstrings a little bit. So we're going to begin with the feet as wide as your foot bar in that pyramid or second position. Make sure your spine is in neutral, so the bottom of your sacrum is making contact with the mat. We're going to begin just pressing in and out here. It's going to feel like you've got more resistance on the legs because you do. Your job is to resist the springs on the way in as well as press on the way out. If this is too much, you can peel off the blue spring or the light spring. Good. 2 more, and then we're going to move into internal rotation just to build balance through the hips. Good. All right. Bring it all the way in. You're going to rotate the knees to face each other, but rotating through the hip socket. So you're not just knocking the knees together. That rotation is coming from your hips. Toes also point inward. Good. If you feel like you need to put the headrest to an upright position for a little more support in your neck, feel free to reach back and do that at any time. For now, we're going to press in and out. Knees are going to stay pointed towards each other, but they separate as the legs straighten out at the top. Good. We're going to go for kind of a moderate pace here, not slow, but not fast. 2 more. Still breathing. And 1. Good. When you bring it in, I'm just going to raise my headrest, take my own advice. Next time you press out, we're going to rotate the legs to face outward, go for circles. Bring it in, legs are in external rotation. Knees come together, press away, they separate, rotate outward, and bring the carriage home. We're going to continue with another 5. So as I come in, knees face inward. As I extend, they face outward. Inward circles. Very nice. If your grips get caught on the bar, if you're wearing grip socks, feel free to reposition your feet anytime. And again, arms can be wherever they're comfortable, either down by your sides or facing up. Good. 1 more. And then we're going to switch. Bring it all the way in. I'm just going to reset the feet. Now when we press out, legs will be an external rotation. As we bring it in, knees face outward. So we're going for outward circles. Knees in as you bring the carriage in, externally rotate as you extend. So think about that rotation going out. Good. We're going to go for 4 more. This is 3. Final 2. And 1. Very nice. Bring it all the way in. We'll reset for our wrap up. All right, to finish up, let's do some feet and straps. So I switched to 1 red and 1 blue spring, or 1 heavy and 1 light. Find those straps wherever they may be, and we're going to place the right strap onto the right foot, left strap onto the left foot. Arms will be long by your sides, or you can plant the elbows in a bent position next to your torso if that's more comfortable. Headrest can be up or down. I'm going to begin just pressing the legs straight to 45, or a little bit lower if your body is feeling like that's a good option, and bring it back in. want to keep some squeeze between the inner thighs. If you're having a hard time finding that connection, you can place a yoga block or a pillow between your knees. Alternatively, you could put a magic circle or a ball in between your ankles. That would do it too. Good. Focusing on squeezing through that deep layer of your core as the legs lower, hinging at the hips as you come up. And take care not to bring the feet past the head. The goal isn't necessarily, hyperextension or a really crazy range of motion. You want to think about finding that nice neutral spine with that deep hip crease as opposed to forcing the legs to come way past the hip line. Good. Pause here. We're going to go for circles. So we're going to open up at the top, bring the feet around, down and together at the bottom. Up at the top, open. Draw them down, around, and together. You may have a really wide range of motion, bringing the legs super far. Something I'd like for you to think about is only going as wide as you can while keeping control of the abdominals. Same goes for support through the back. If you feel like you can't get your legs to 90 degrees without sacrificing the tailbone coming up, I'd rather you keep them a little bit lower. We're going to just go to 8. We should have about 2 more here. And once we're there, we're going to reverse direction. So we're going to press through the feet down. The legs are in parallel still, so your knees are facing your nose. Good. 6 more. Once again, finding that core stabilization. If you feel like your abdominals are bulging out while your legs are in that lowered position, think about keeping a little smaller. A very classical leg circle is almost as small as this. So it doesn't have to be a huge range. I really would like for you to control your abs wherever you're taking that. Of course, if you have access to a more dramatic range and you can control it, keep your core fired on, feel free to take that. I'm taking 1 more to get to 8. You finish up your 8. Once you're there, we're going to pause in this hamstring stretch. So you want to pause with your heels right above your hips or a little bit out. Definitely not all the way back. We're going to flex the feet through the ankles, not just through the toes. I'm going to pull down on those ropes, getting a nice deep breath. Good. Going to bend one leg, extend the other. Both legs straight. Bend one leg, extend the other. Get a little more leverage in that rope. Good. I'm going to take both straps off the feet. We're going to come to a final stretch. So I'm going to roll up to sitting carefully and slowly. I'm going to switch onto one red spring. So I'm going to take off the blue spring or the light spring and just keep the heavy spring on. I'm going to move into a scooter stretch to try to stretch out our hip flexors and our hamstrings. So I'm going to bring your hands to the foot bar. Whoops, foot bar should be in an upright position. Right foot should be aligned about with the front edge of the machine. Toes of the left foot are curled up against the shoulder block behind you. Going to begin scooping the pelvis under, just sending the carriage back a little bit. So I'm not letting the lumbar spine sink out and collapse. I'm keeping a little bit of a tuck under, and I'm just really focused on hip flexor stretch here. Now I'm going to let the lumbar spine be a little bit more loose. I'm going to send the carriage back as far as I comfortably would like to. Good. Bringing the carriage back in, I'm now going to straighten out that front leg for a nice long hamstring stretch. You can also choose to extend that back leg if you like, if you want to go for a full split, if that feels good to you today. Good. And let's move on to the other side. Closing the carriage and moving around the machine to the opposite side. Now, left foot will be aligned with the front edge of the opposite side. Right foot up against the shoulder block behind you. Square off the hips. Give that pelvis a little bit of a tuck under and just send the carriage back a few inches. You can choose to floss this one back and forth if that feels good. Some other people may feel an increased stretch if you curve through that upper spine. Good. And now feel free to let the lumbar spine be a little bit more loose. Send the carriage a little bit further back for stretch in a little bit of a different place. And bring it back to starting. Now, straighten out the front leg on the left side, wherever you may feel. Again, we don't want the spine curving over here. You want a nice long neutral spine, so almost think about flaring the sits bones or the tailbone back behind you. You may choose to extend that back leg straight if you want to go for a full split. If you have access to that, go nuts. and bend the knees, draw the carriage all the way home. You did it. Thank you guys so much. Please return and subscribe for more workouts. I'm doing a Pilates program in January to give you guys lots of access to achieve your fitness goals. If you want to keep going today, I'm going to link another video down here that's going to complement this one if you want to extend your workout. And please watch this space for more new workouts fresh. And I'll see you next time.